We are back after a long, long summer break. We are finally back, which means since it's August, that means school's about to start up here in a couple of weeks, which means football's right around the corner, which is why we are here today. Favorite part of the season, ready to talk sports with Nooner and Forrest, especially with football. Brad, how are you doing, and how is your summer break? Hopefully, it's better than mine.
It's been great. Of course, one thing that's does drama of the Dallas Cowboys off the off season, so we loved we all love that. But my summer break's been pretty good. Obviously, I think we both had some vacation time in between there. Uh, Church is going pretty decently. Going good. I mean, I would say when I say decently, I'm not saying it's bad or anything like that, but we're still in a when you're trying to get people united for a renovation, uh, I've been saying that might be the death of me. Is this renovation project of the church? But it's been pretty good. I just got back from Florida this past week. Of course, you've been spending some time in Florida, which when I go to Florida, Hulkamania dies. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. But I mean, no, I had celebrities dying throughout the week while I was in Florida.
Yeah.
Hogan, obviously, Ozzy Osbourne was dead. Uh, Theo from the Cosby Show dies during that same week as well. There's a jazz musician that died. I mean, I guess I should never take any more trips to Florida, apparently, but it is what it
Yeah.
is. But pretty good. Been a pretty good summer so far.
Yeah, and Phil Robertson wasn't too far before then.
Yeah, and I think we did a show before then for Phil, but yeah, no, I've done a lot of baseball, umpiring baseball during the summer, adult league, but that's definitely has wind down. Uh, so I'm kind of transitioning to football. I got a schedule. I'm not part of a high school crew, but I might as well be because uh, there's a crew that I'll be with this fall. That's pretty much. Going to have a few six-man crew games during the season. So
Okay.
one of those,
Interesting.
yeah. So one of those is going to be at Monticello when Warren plays Monticello, and then I'm going to get to go to Warren on a six-man crew. Yeah,
Ooh.
I know it. I know it. So
Ooh. We need to talk. We're talking off air about this, sir. We are talking off air about this.
and then
Yep. Okay. Okay. So hang on. You're going to go to Monticello. Who do they play that day?
Warren.
Warren.
Yep.
Ooh, you got a good one too, man. Your crew gets the good games. You out of your really? Y'all live like far away. Y'all get the good ones.
Then I get to join a six-man crew at Macquarie, and then of course I'll join them for two games this year at Mayflower, JCBL at Mayflower, and then I can't think very next week where I'm at. So week 0, week 1, I have games. So yeah, so I'm my schedule's filled
I
up pretty good.
I should get my schedule Tuesday when we have our meeting. I'm hoping we get our schedule
Let me look
Tuesday.
it
We're
up real
s- we're
quick.
and we're supposed to be able to know that by then. Hopefully, last year they weren't able to finish it quite yet. That's just because they were still trying to get some things going. But hopefully, it'll be done in time this year, so that way I know exactly where I'm going, when I'm going, all that good
Oh,
stuff.
I get week 2 I get Hector at Perryville. So
Yeah, okay. Perryville's not that good, or they weren't. I don't know about
Well,
Hector.
yeah, Hector, I don't know. Perryville's, well, they were decent. I mean, I think they finished tied for second in the 3A with JCville. I think they were behind Glen Rose last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
So,
that's something else we need. That's something else we'll do before the season starts. We need to go and pick our state champions for each classification, like we did last year.
yes,
This year, I will keep up with it. This year, I will keep up with it. Preseason champions. You're going to hear it on Talking Sports with Darren Force. We're going to be
that,
wrong,
that,
and that's okay. We're going to be wrong, and that's
that,
okay.
that sounds good. I sent you the top 20, I sent you the top 10 list of each of the divisions, according to Arkansas Sports Network.
Did you?
Out, yeah, I did. Yeah, it was a
Are you
series of,
sure?
yeah, in a series of
I
text,
have to
but
look.
if not,
Find it.
I can send it again. I can send it
Resend it
again.
again. I want to see. I want to see it again.
Yeah,
I'm intrigued on what Whitehall's going to do this year. Uh, we have quite a bit of starters returning this year. I just we'll just have to see. Just have to see how
yeah.
we're going to do this year. I'm hoping we do well this year. I would love to
I
see us
think
make the playoffs.
I think one of the most intriguing conferences, if you're really into small conference football, is the 2A. I mean, once again, it's loaded. They got EPC ranked number 1 this year in the 2A, and
Okay.
They got Mount Ida right behind them at number 2.
Yeah,
So
Mount Ida is my heavy favorite this year.
yeah,
I love the Veer, man. Give them the
the
beer. Woo,
fear,
woo.
fear the beer. That's their slogan.
Fear
Fear
the
the beer.
might as well as fear the. All right, let's get started here. We'll get into that for too long. I think the 0 week is coming up. What is it? 3 weeks from Friday?
The 29th. Yeah, August 29th.
Oh my gosh, we're we're tasting we're tasting football, Brad. It's almost here.
And the day after is the first week of college football, and you got Ohio State and Texas at 12 o'clock that day.
I
So
think I have. I think they said the 19th is when we're doing. We have scrimmage games due the 19th. Okay, well that's all right. Probably one of them is
I'm
probably going
doing.
to be Monticello. One of them is probably going to be at Monticello. But anyway, yeah, we'll have to compare our schedules later. All right, let's dive into it. Let's do a quick SummerSlam recap. We're going to do a quick SummerSlam recap because the biggest thing and the biggest reason we're here is Arkansas football. And so let's go ahead and let's recap a little bit of SummerSlam. I thought overall SummerSlam was okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay. I do believe with them having 2 nights, of course, the attendance was very, very well for MetLife Stadium. That was very, very good, I thought.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it
one thing
was.
that people also have to understand is that jumbotron that they have and everything that they set up for it takes a lot of space up. So that's why you don't see as many as what you possibly could see, in a stadium or anything like that. So night one, I thought night one was way better than night two. I'm gonna get that straight out of the way right now. I
Yeah,
thought
I
night one
agree.
was way better than night two.
I agree.
Um, Roman and Jay's tag match, it was okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay. Roman pushed Jay out of the way to take the spear. I thought that was pretty cool. I think they've got a long way to go with that storyline. The biggest story of night one, obviously, was Seth Rollins selling the injury and cashing in the Money in the Bank, which I think I saw that coming from a mile away. There were some talks that possibly Seth was going to cash in on the WWE Undisputed Championship, which is what John Cena lost tonight. But he ended up cashing in last night. I thought that was brilliant on the rider side, brilliant on all sides and everything like that. And so, because I thought the Gunther Punk match was okay. There was a lot of miscues. You could tell they hadn't worked together before. And whenever you've watched as much as I have, and you're the same way, Brad, because you've watched several matches over the years and everything like that as well. I've been inside the ring. I can tell when characters have or when guys haven't worked with each other as much. But it still turned out to be pretty well. I mean, Punk took some punishment. Those chops hurt. I guarantee you those chops hurt very, very, very much. And so, but Seth Rollins cashing in. They're continuing to tell that story. There's no telling where that story is going to end up. I personally believe that it's going to be Reigns and Rollins at Mania next year. We'll see. I don't know if that's going to. They've never faced each other at Mania, and I think it's time that they do so, especially considering that there's a lot of talks that Roman's going to retire within the next year or two and pursue a Hollywood career. So we'll see how that transpires. I don't care about any of the other matches except for I thought Dom and AJ Styles was very, very entertaining. They really delivered that storyline. Probably the best storyline by far, in my opinion, going into SummerSlam was that storyline between Dom and AJ Styles. They were able to deliver very well as well. And then, of course, we saw John Cena lose to Cody Rhodes. Um, of course, I know you messaged me before the podcast night. I personally didn't like the ending myself. I thought what Cody was doing was a heel move. Like that is a heel move when you're taking apart the ring,
He
and,
teased.
and he teased the heel turn, and he, you know, didn't really turn heel, but that was a very good ending. I thought they were going to let Cena win. Like the more it got into it, I thought Cena was going to win, just by how they were getting into it and everything like that. And then Cody pulled the trigger, and then all of a sudden Brock Lesnar returns. I'm like, oh crap! So in the span of about 2 minutes between Cena losing and Brock Lesnar coming out, I'm sitting in my chair, and my entire thought process goes, what are they going to do with John now? Because he's gone through Cody twice. He's gone through Punk. He's gone through Orton. They all said that was their last match. They would never face each other again. And so one of the things I said on the Terrible Wrestling Show, because we did a Terrible Wrestling Show this past Thursday, One of the things I said was we need to pay attention to what happens in the Punk and Gunther match, because I said if Gunther wins, they're not going to have Gunther face Cody again at Crown Jewel. It's not going to happen. They're not going to have a rematch. It's pointless at this point to even have a rematch with those two. And then I said, but I also said that if Punk won, John Cena was going to lose, because then that means Punk and Cody, because they've never faced each other that I know of, or at least not in this newer run that Punk has had. And that didn't happen. Rollins cashed in. So now I'm like, okay, my entire thought process was this now, Brad. Cena wins, goes on to face Rollins at Crown Jewel, champion versus champion, and then maybe drops it to Roman or some upcoming superstar that's ready for a championship title run. And they face each other. And they face each other at his last show in December. Now I'm really confused because Brock's back. What are they going to do now? This is my whole entire thing is what are they going to do now? Because now you can face Brock Lesnar twice if you want to. That's fine. Don't care which way they go. But I do find how they are telling stories the way that they're telling stories. This story goes back to the last time Brock Lesnar came at SummerSlam and just demolished Cena. It was the year that he beat Undertaker for the streak. That was the last time they faced each other. And Cena was champion, tossed Cena all over the place. And Cena even said, "Look, dude, you just won the streak. You just beat Undertaker. We got to keep you strong." He was all for it. And now he's back, which I have no problem with him being back, because I thought he was going to be back much sooner than this, but that's okay. But like I said, I'm confused now. Where are they going to go with this? I want to know where they're going to go with this. It's confusing.
Yeah. I'll speculate on that in a minute. One of the things I will say is this: I do agree, night one was better than night two. I thought night two was too gimmicky. One of my favorite teams right now, tag team. I know you might not be a big fan of tag team wrestling, but I love the Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair thing they got going on there. I
Yeah,
think
I'm indifferent about it.
I think it's hilarious. I think it's great, and it's also showing a side of Charlotte Flair you have not seen, and I think that's what's really because one of the things Ric Flair would say about himself was he was never a good baby face. And because he said, I don't have baby face moves. All my moves are heel moves, the low blow, and all that different stuff. But Charlotte Flair has shown a different side of her, has shown a different character. And I'm glad that she is portraying that as far as with Alexa and them getting the tag team. So I thought that match with Raquel and Roxanne was pretty good. I thought, like you said, the Roman Reigns match with Jey Uso, I thought that was a great match as well. Good story going on there. Probably a little bit juice left on that. Uh, I thought tonight's cage match was the worst cage match ever seen. If I
That's
had,
harsh,
I'm just saying,
but
I'm serious.
it was pretty bad.
It was horrible. It was the worst cage match I've ever seen. I mean, oh my God, so predictable, so boring. It was so all like slow paced, drawn out. It just wasn't good at all. And like I said, I thought night two was just too gimmicky. I thought it was too many. You only had one regular match. The rest of the match was no DQ. And I just think it was it was just too much. It was just too much tonight. Why do you need 6 tag teams in a TLC match? What
I
what
have
what
no
what
idea.
what is that?
I have no idea.
What we're talking about?
Now I will say this much. This brings back the old pay-per-view they used to do called Extreme Rules. Remember
Of
that?
course, yeah, I
That was
know.
all extreme, and so
Yeah,
I mean now they
well,
need to bring it back.
it's also the celebration of the 25th anniversary of the first TLC match, which was 3 teams. Edge
Yep.
and Christian,
So
the
let's just
Dudley
double
Boys,
it.
and Hart.
Hey, how
We'll
about this?
double it.
Hey, how about this? Let's do 12 teams next. Let's just continue to go on till we have every wrestler on the roster in that TLC match. That'd be nuts.
Yeah, I thought Dom and AJ that was a great match.
Best
Um,
match on the card. It was the
best
best match all night.
I would say it's the best match on the card. And I would say it was a great match. I thought Dom pulled a lot of Eddie Guerrero, which that was nice to see. And AJ kind of did the same thing a little bit too, a little contribute. So I
The
thought that was. Uh,
daggum chair, hit the chair. He caught it, then put it between his neck and fell down. I'm like, oh my gosh,
I
this is
love it.
great. This
Yeah,
is great.
I remember one time when Eddie threw the chair at Mr. Kennedy and the referee caught him and he won
Yeah,
by disqualification.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
hilarious. But anyway, I just think that's great.
Uh,
I'm not a big fan of Naomi being women's champion. Just gonna say that right now. I'm not a big fan of Naomi, but that's
yeah,
just
that's
me.
I'm indifferent on it. I'm just glad
Yeah,
she's a heel.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of not glad that she is a heel, but I just don't like it. But anyway, but the of course the John Cena thing, that was a great match. You got to
It
see the old
was.
John Cena.
It
You
was.
got to see a lot of retro John Cena in that
Yes,
match.
you did. He
Yeah,
he brought it. I'm like, whenever the match was over with, I'm thinking, there was a small part of me that was thinking that should be it.
yeah,
Why would you want to do another match after that match?
right.
That was all he could do. I mean, he literally, he has stated several times the reason he wants to leave now is because he can't do it anymore. Now tonight he proved, heck, he can still do it, but that's a match you want to retire on. I don't understand that one. That to me is
Well,
mind-boggling.
that's where I'm going to get to next. And of course, Cody teased the heel turn.
He did
Uh,
tease it.
he
He
teased
teased it
it
several times.
several times. He even teased it at the end when he turned around, turned his back, and he's shaking, he's raising John Cena's hand. I'm thinking, he kind of turned around a little bit. I thought he was going to hit him with a belt or something. I mean, he teased it several times, but he didn't do it. But then Brock Lesnar. And this is where I think there's going to head with John. I think John and Brock is eventually going to be heading into Australia to Perth when they crown jewel in October. I think that's where John Cena and Brock Lesnar lands. In that, I think what could happen in
But
between is
Clash at the
let
Castle's next.
the castle is next, but
And
does
John is
John?
advertised for it.
John's advertised there might be a match there, and I can also see where John has a match with. But here's the thing, though. Right now, the record between John and Brock, technically, right now is 1-1 because John beat Brock at Extreme Rules in 2012,
Yep, I remember that.
and then
That was the
Brock
first
beat him.
time they wrestled?
That's the first time they wrestled, man. First time.
Really?
Yes.
When did Brock leave the company the first time before he went to UFC?
I want to say around that time. I think it was 2012.
No, no, no. When he left the company the first time to
Oh,
go
the
pursue
first
the UFC
time.
career.
2006, 2007, maybe.
I mean, yeah, that might be right. That might be
Yeah.
right. For some reason I thought it was well, are they never fought? That was their
I
first
don't believe.
match?
I don't think they have. I mean, I
Interesting.
could.
I'm gonna look it up. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah, you have to look it up. But John has a victory at Extreme Rules, and of course, Brock has a victory at SummerSlam 2015, I believe. So I, I think that's where you're either going to see a rubber match to end it all between the two, because John Cena has said that Brock's his greatest rival, or you're going to see a series of matches where you might have Brock winning, or maybe John winning, or something, Brock winning, then Brock challenging Cody, then Cena kind of you know you know causes Brock to lose somehow in some way, and then you got Brock and Cena at Crown Jewel. So I do think it's going to end up in Crown Jewel somehow, some way. I don't
Okay,
know how.
so according to this, they have faced each other 7 times. Six of the 7 were singles matches. Brock's won 4 out of 6. The
About four
last
two.
one, the last one was in 2014. That was the
Okay.
year that Lester beat Undertaker streak. And yeah,
So
okay.
4-2. So 4-2. But that's very respectable. I mean, if you're 2-4 against your rival, I mean, it's not the best, but it's not the worst either, especially when it's Brock Lesnar. Um, oh yeah, John Cena is also 0-11 against Roman Reigns. He's never beaten Roman Reigns in a singles match, but there
Are
goes
you
that.
really?
Yeah, I looked that up earlier too. That's
I did
great.
not know that.
Yeah,
Anyway,
so but the point I think is, yeah, we only can speculate, John. That's a couple of options that WWE has. But if I was John Cena, I would want to go out here at SummerSlam. But I mean, I can understand. But there's a few premium events that they still want John Cena to be at. I think John Cena wants to travel the world, quote, quote, so to speak, to say his thank you as well. And I think that's why John's going to stick around, and you're going to see a series of matches with Brock, and then maybe eventually you might have a match where, you know, John faces Roman or Seth Rollins or something to cap off his career. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. That's a tough one, because like I said, I do know the last show I think John is supposed to appear in, if I'm reading this correct, is supposed to be when they go to Boston in December. That's supposed to be his last match. It's supposed to be in Boston. So we'll see how that turns out. But so many storylines that you can go through. Real quick, while of course while we were away, Hulk Hogan did pass away I think it was 71. Um,
71.
according to reports, it was a heart attack. So I will I know that there's a lot of sensitivity when it comes to Hulk Hogan. Um, and I know we gave his life to Christ about a year and a half ago for something I read up, which is awesome. I think that's amazing that we know for sure, um, that he did give his life to Christ. That's a great thing. Um, I think one of the things we can definitely agree on, whether you love him, whether you hate him, whether you like him, whether you don't like him, um, he was our childhood before our childhood, if you want to put it that way. He was the reason why wrestling was so popular before the Attitude Era. Let's get this, because during the Attitude Era, he was not with WWE, so WCW, and that is probably the closest thing. If I were to say right now, the wrestling that's going on right now, the closest thing to the Attitude Era since the Attitude Era. You think that'd be somewhat accurate?
Yeah, I can see that a little bit.
But here's the bigger difference. WCW was more of a competition level to WWE at that time than what AEW is with WWE. And a lot of it, we'll get
Right.
into that. We'll get into that another day. There's a lot going on that we can pick through and pin out and everything like that. And so, because I guarantee you, there's people in the AEW locker room, whether they're having a premium live event or not, they have a TV on watching John Cena. All right, so I guarantee it, because there's a lot of wrestlers at AEW who wrestled John Cena in his career, including Edge and Christian and all of them. So yeah, I guarantee they are. Guarantee it, they are. Anyways, so he was basically, um, he was the face of the company for many years. He was the go-to guy, before Stone Cold, before The Rock, before any of these guys that have come through. He was the guy. He is one of the record holders for the most WWE championships. I think he's third on the all-time list. Um, and I'm trying to remember who's second. Who's second?
Well, is it Roman Reigns?
No, no, because Roman, they didn't let Roman beat Hulk Hogan's third place record.
Okay. I know maybe Bruno
Bruno's number
Bob,
one.
or it's Bob, I thought Bob Backlund's number one.
No, Bob Backlund's number two.
Okay, maybe it's
That's who it is. Bob Backlund's number two. And so, because I said that if they're going to make Roman that big, might as well let him beat Roman's record, or might as well beat Hogan's record. That was my big fit for him losing to Cody last year. Anyways, and then you talk about totally different storylines going on right now. So anyway, um so as far as the wrestling business itself goes, he was the face of wrestling. And you saw him everywhere. You saw him in commercials. You saw him on movies. You saw him here. You saw him on TV shows. You saw him everywhere. He was basically, if I could compare it in the '90s, he was the Michael Jordan of wrestling at the time. He could not be touched. There was not a soul that could touch him in the ring. And to tell you the truth, Brad, I will defend this till the day I die. I don't think he was that great of a wrestler. He
I
was
wouldn't say
just
that.
that he just had a lot of charisma.
A
He
lot
had
of
he had
great
a lot
charisma.
of charisma, and he knew how to work his character. Wrestling wasn't his strong suit. Being the big bad strong guy was his strong suit. That was who he was. And so Yeah, I'm saddened to hear about his passing. Um, and so, and I know, just like all of us, we've made mistakes over the years, but wrestling would not be where wrestling was at without Hulk Hogan. I'm just going to put it to you that way. For Roman Reigns to happen, for John Cena to happen, for Stone Cold, for The Rock, for all these greats, does not happen without Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to give him his flowers on the show and kind of talk about this because Hogan, like you say, he was our childhood before our childhood. And when you mention wrestling, you could say, yeah, the response was, "Oh, that's what Hulk Hogan does." Before wrestling really became really mainstream, and of course, no, he had Vince McMahon to help him along the way, but even Vince even commented on the death of Hogan. That's how much of an impact. He got Vince even talking about it on Twitter about it after months long of silence. But and anyway, yeah, I would say he's definitely top two, but probably the most influential figure in wrestling history as far as his charisma, because let's just think about it. Because before Hogan, wrestling was not really mainstream. After Hogan, you had the MTV, you had WrestleMania 3 versus Andre the Giant, which had over 93,000. And and here's another thing about Hogan too, Ricky. I know you have disagreed with me when you said that you thought Cena's heel turn was the greatest of all time. I thought Hogan turning heel and being the NWO was the greatest heel turn of all time because I'll tell you two reasons why. Number one, I watched that pay per view and I saw Hogan walking down the ring as a kid. I thinking, oh, here comes Hogan. He's going to save the day. And once he landed that leg drop on Macho Man Randy Savage, I was so pissed off. I mean, it just made me mad. That's number one. And number two, without Hogan being the third guy, you probably wouldn't have the Monday Night Wars like you did. And that's the biggest thing because no, the third guy was supposed to be Sting. And so, but Hogan was kind of saying, my character's kind of, you know, not being as popular anymore. It's not
It was
really
dry.
related to fans. It was dry. It was not related to fans. And of course, so he met with Eric and said, well, what can we do that has never been done? That was the question that even Eric has shared this story several times. Turn Hogan heel. Turn Hogan heel. And when he turned heel, he had, I mean, like I said, WCW competed, and you have to wonder whether Vince McMahon would have to bring the Attitude Era because when WCW started going realistic, all of a sudden WWE had to change its philosophy because WWE was still very cartoonish, had these different characters like Al Yankovic or or Doctor
Djokovic.
Yankovic, yeah, something like that. I mean, it was some of these god awful characters. Uh, Duke the Dumpster Brody was a character in the WWE. I mean, you just had these crazy, you had these cartoonish characters, but they had to get realistic, and that's what kind of helped bring on the Attitude Era was because of the Monday Night Wars. And but without Hogan turning heel, no offense to Sting, I think Sting would have been a good third guy for the NWO, but he wouldn't have been as impactful as Hogan.
No,
And
no.
so that's why I think, to me, Hogan on a couple fronts was probably the one of the most or the most influential wrestler of all time. Like you say, he wasn't the best wrestler. I didn't really like his wrestling style. He wasn't a Ric Flair. He wasn't AJ Styles. He wasn't anybody like that. But he had charisma. He could put butts in seats, quote unquote. I mean, really, a lot of his philosophy. Hogan started in Memphis. That's where he really got his break was in Memphis, Tennessee, under Lawler, and he took a lot of what Lawler did into his own persona, and he became successful with it. So I just think I just think it's I'm back on me.
You muted yourself.
Oh, sorry. So anyway, so the point I want to make is I think Hogan's death, now, yes, it's very complicated, but you cannot deny that he's probably one of the most influential wrestlers. Like you say, without Hogan, you don't have Cena, you don't have Cody Rhodes, and you definitely don't have a 2-day SummerSlam.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could argue that part. 2 day SummerSlam probably would have happened without Hogan, but either way, it's SummerSlam. We'll see.
Mm.
What's next? 2 day Royal Rumble. That would make more sense because you have two
Well,
Royal Rumble matches.
what I'm
One,
saying is the popularity. I mean, I just think it with the popularity.
it's like 2 day pay-per-views every month. That would suck.
I was if I
That
was
would
a wrestler, I'd
suck.
be like thumbs down.
Oh man. 2 day Money in the Bank. Here we come. I'm all for it.
Well,
There
you
should
know
be a
what?
2 day Money in the Bank.
I think with the premium events like the Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, uh, Survivor Series, even your older pay per views, which I call it the majors of WWE. I call it the majors. Like at golf, you have major championships. That's why I call these pay per views the majors because they are the ones that are steep in tradition, that were started back in the early 90s and 80s, late 80s. Of course, no, with WrestleMania starting in the mid 80s. But I just think those four right there, if you did 2 days with it, I mean, they're having Survivor Series in San Diego Petco Park, a baseball
Interesting.
park. So I mean, why not make it a 2-day event? I mean, the Royal Rumble is
Nah,
already in stadium is already a stadium show, so why
that is
not?
true. That is true, and
So
it's a big one. All right, let's move on to football now. We went way in longer on wrestling than what I expected, but that's okay. All right, so football is right around the corner. We are now going straight into the Arkansas Razorback football schedule, and we're actually going to go game by game and see what in the world what kind of a record
before you're gonna
crap show
go,
we're going to have. What's up?
I want to ask this question: how excited are you about Arkansas football this year?
I don't know. Because here's the thing, Brad. And I keep getting this vibe from quite a bit of people. Some people think they're going to do the unexpected. Some people believe that they're going to do the unexpected this year. I don't know if that's going to happen though. I'm just being honest with you. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I'm just being honest with you. I don't think that's going to happen. But anyway, um, but yeah, I mean, we did return, a few starters. There were some that didn't return hardly any. So I mean, we can go ahead and check that off. But there's still a lot of SEC teams who are way ahead of us, and so we'll see how that part happens. All right, so let's go through the schedule. Let's see how Arkansas is going to fare this year. Alabama A&M, that's a win. We're marking that win
Oh,
off
come on!
right now. That is a win. If we lose to Alabama A&M, Sam Pittman will be fired on the spot.
He'll
And
go to his lake house in Lake Hamilton.
that's the thing. He won't even have to ask for permission to go to his lake house. He will just go. All right. He will just go. I will say this much: the first 4 games this year are very, very important to see how the rest of the season's going to go.
Yeah.
I will say that much. All right. So the second week, and this is kind of where we're going to pause for a second because Arkansas and Arkansas State are going to play each other. Is this going to be their first time ever, or the first time in like 1,000 years?
First time ever.
Okay, so because like I said, and it's kind of where Chuck Barrett went on his podcast, Bo, the Chuck and Bo show. It's a great show, by the way. For those of y'all who are interested in podcasting or anything like that, but he kind of went into something. Bo asked if the Arkansas State game was going to mean anything to him, and basically Chuck shut it down, as if this is just going to be some cupcake walk or anything like that. And I will attest to that. For the simple fact is, Brad, number one, you've been to Northeast Arkansas. You're from Northeast Arkansas. You know what Northeast Arkansas football is like. It's not the greatest football in the world. Let's remember, because Northeast Arkansas, everybody knows Northeast Arkansas is basketball country. It still is basketball country. But when it comes to Arkansas State, though, very, very passionate fans with Arkansas State University. Very passionate fans when it comes to Arkansas State. And I have been, over the years, even with my love for football and everything like that over the years, I've wanted this game to happen for years. For years. Because here's the thing that you may not understand, Chuck Barrett. And I understand Chuck's no, dude. He's been around way longer than what you and I have ever had or anything like that. But the answer he gave was very, very well Northwest Arkansas bias. Chuck,
Elitist.
exactly. Because there are several years, recent years, Brad, Arkansas State had a chance if they would, if excuse me, there have been years where Arkansas State would have had a chance to beat Arkansas, and then there's years where they would have for sure beaten Arkansas. And we can go by through some of the years right now if we
2018,
wanted.
2019 when we went 2-10.
2018 and 2019, Arkansas Razorbacks went 2-10. 2018, 2019, both years they Arkansas State went 8-5. They lost one bowl game and won another bowl game. They lost the Arizona Bowl and they won the Camellia Bowl, respectively. Yeah, I don't think Arkansas would have lost Arkansas State. Oh, yes, they would have. It's a very, very big.
I
It's a
mean,
very
remember Arkansas at that time was losing to teams like Colorado State. They were losing to North Texas, Western
yep.
Kentucky, San Jose State. Yeah.
2015, Arkansas went 8-5. Arkansas State went 9-4. That probably would have been a more competitive bowl. I thought Arkansas would have won that game just because they just had a lot more talent
Of
that year
course.
than what Arkansas State did. 2012, Arkansas State went 10-3. 2012 was the year that Bobby Petrino had his motorcycle accident and all that stuff happened. I think under John L. Smith, Arkansas State would have won that game. I think that'd have been hands down that Arkansas State would have won that game. I don't think I don't think it'd have been close. Same with 2013. That was Brett Bielema's first year. I think Arkansas State would have won that game. 2014, Brett Bielema's third year. I think Arkansas State possibly could have won that game as well. So I'm just saying, like, there have been recent years where the Northeast Arkansas fans have wondered, why are we not playing Arkansas? Well, let's play them. Let's just do it. And there have been, like I said, because there have been years that they've had a chance. And Brad, I'm just going to be honest with you right now. They have a chance to beat them this year. And here's the whole entire purpose behind this year, Brad. Every year that Butch Jones has been at Arkansas State, he has improved this team quite well. And I thought he was going to be fired if he didn't do anything last year. But he came back last year. The last 2 years, actually, he's actually done very, very well. He went 2-10 his first season. That was when Blake Anderson left. He went 3-9 his second season. His third season, he went to a bowl game, lost the Camilla Bowl, and he went 6-7. Last year, he went 8-5, and he won a bowl game. So every year that he's been at Arkansas State, he has had very decent success at Arkansas State. As where Sam Pittman's been, and so you really have not gotten as much consistency. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing the job. Let's be real. University of Arkansas is a much tougher job than what Arkansas State is. But all I'm saying is Chuck Barrett. You're not going to listen to this podcast, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. You don't have to listen to our podcast, but I will say this much: your answer is dead wrong if you think this game does not mean anything to Northeast Arkansas people. There are people in Northeast Arkansas. There are people in Central Arkansas. There are people in South Arkansas. This means something to them because we haven't had a true in-state rivalry ever.
Yeah, I agree.
This right here has a chance to be something good because Brad, in the history of Arkansas football, there's only one team who's beaten the Razorbacks, and it was Washita Baptist in the 1920s, something like that, many years ago. But I'm just saying in general, this means something to people in Arkansas. Chuck.
Yeah. First of all, I'm not a big fan of the Chuck and Bo show, only because
It's
you know
so
you
good one.
got two Arkansas employees, Arkansas Razorback employees, so you're going to have some bias there. That's number one. Number two, the second part is their elitism because Bo is also taking shots at Arkansas State and Jonesboro too, which and from his previous shows before. So, but yeah, you're right. I was going to mention that within the last 10 years, Arkansas State has had opportunities to be very competitive with
Mhm.
Arkansas if they were met on the field, especially with the Chad Morris years. I think Arkansas State beats them both years. I mean,
Yeah,
to be honest with
easy.
you,
And I
easily.
think it'd have been
Uh,
easily, yeah.
and I know. Now, I understand why Sam Pittman said we're not going to play him up at Jonesboro. I get that. But you know what? Even if you played every time at Fayetteville, fine, whatever. Treat them to a game in Little Rock. I'm fine with that. But to say that no one cares, Chuck, and to Bo, I hope this does go viral. I would love it to go viral and go to their show. Because as a Northeast Arkansan that was born and raised there, this game means a lot to these fans. And I'm going to tell you right now, I would not be surprised that War Memorial Stadium is split 50-50 at that game because I think you're going to have a good crowd. I think you're going to have a lot of that crowd from Arkansas State fans coming from Northeast Arkansas. And you also got a lot of alumnus that works within the Central Arkansas area too. And I think you're going to have a good crowd there. And I think it's going to be pretty close being sold out. War Memorial will be for this game because Arkansas State is very excited about this game, and I do think people do care about this game. And if Arkansas thinks they could just sleepwalk and just play this game like they played UAB last year, they better have another thing coming. And I'm going to tell you right
Uh-huh.
now, Ricky, I'm going to make this prediction. I think this game's going to be a lot closer. A lot of people thinks it is. I would not be surprised if it was like the Southeast Missouri game a couple of years ago, where Bobby Petrino himself brought Southeast Missouri in and nearly beat Arkansas. I wouldn't be surprised it's that type of game against Arkansas State, and that Arkansas is having to squeak a win in the fourth quarter, squeak a couple touchdowns just to get the W against Arkansas State. I think Arkansas wins this game, but it's going to be close. I mean, it's not going to be the 56-3 or whatever games they play against UAP and that UAPB and that sort of thing. It's going to be a very close game. Arkansas is going to be excited about it, and I think Arkansas State is going to make Chuck Barrett and Bo Madley and all the Northwest Arkansas elitists eat some humble pie that day. That's my
Y-
opinion.
Yeah, and I'm looking at some of these sections, Brad. There are not a whole lot of seats left.
I know
Um,
it. I'm saying.
there's not a whole lot of seats left. This would be a game that I would love to go to.
I would
Um,
love to as well.
yeah, I would love to go to this game. That might be something you and I talk about off the air. Because I like I said, this is just something. It's a 4 o'clock game.
Yep.
That's fine. Um, but I'm just saying, like in general, when you're looking at football, and this being the first time ever, and like I said, there's not many seats left. There's not many seats left, and I know that there's some people they're scalping tickets on whatever website there is, everything that they're trying to get this game going. But don't be surprised if this. I don't know if they'll sell out, but don't be surprised if this is the most attended game that we've seen at War Memorial in a very long time. Probably
That's
since
what
Arkansas.
I agree.
Probably since Arkansas LSU. I'll go that far because I
I
remember
agree.
one year Georgia came and it wasn't very packed out. That was just because Georgia sucked. Um, but I would honestly think that this is going to be the most we've had in a very long time. They may scratch their head and be like, "Are you sure about this?" that we
Yeah.
might need.
No, no,
And
I
so,
agree with that. And I'm telling you right now, ASU fans are very passionate. And I remember one year I was up in Jonesboro. I was eating at the Buffalo Wild Wings, and Missouri came to Jonesboro and played a game at Jonesboro. And ASU gave them all they could handle, but Missouri ended up pulling it out. But I mean, Jonesboro, people don't realize Northeast Arkansas is very passionate about their Red Wolves, and
mhm.
I will say this: that they're going to have a great season this year. The Red Wolves are. I don't know if they'll win their conference or not, but I think they make another bowl game, and I think they will win a few games. But I'm going to tell you right now, this game, Arkansas better not sleepwalk. That's all I gotta say because like I said, I see it going the same way like the Southeast Missouri game where they almost lost to them a couple years ago. That's where I see it going.
Yep, and we will see how they fare up, and will obviously before we get to the week of the game, wherever the case may be, we can definitely see how this is going to be good because I think their quarterback Jalen Rain, I think he comes back this year, and he was decent last year. He needs to limit the turnovers though.
Yep.
All right, so right now we have Arkansas at 2-0. Both of us Arkansas 2-0. Next we go to Ole Miss. Now Ole Miss is early in the season. Ole Miss has a lot of questions themselves because they have a brand new quarterback. I don't think they're returning a whole lot of starters. I need to look that up real quick.
No, they're not. They do have a brand new quarterback, and I think they are having to fill some holes. I do think you're correct about that.
Um, whoops. So yes, so I like I said, let me look here. I am trying to find because I found one earlier. This is what I was looking for earlier. The returning production. This was yes, this was recent because I saw this earlier, and I'm trying to remember how many starters Ole Miss is actually returning. I know, of course, Arkansas ain't returning much, but neither I don't think Ole Miss is either. Let me look at this. Ole Miss is returning 5 starters. They're returning 2 linebackers on defense, 3 on the offense, with a wide receiver, a tight end, and a left tackle. That is what they're returning. Arkansas is returning quite a bit of their core, if you will, of the 8 starters that are returning back. 3 offensive linemen. That's huge. Our quarterback Taylor Green. On the defensive side of the ball, we have a corner returning Jaheim Singletary, Xavier Sorey, Stephen Dix Jr., and Cameron Ball are the returning starters for Arkansas coming back. And so I'm going to go ahead and mark this as a win, Brad. I'm just going to tell you right now, I don't think Ole Miss is going to be very good this year. This is going to be the most challenging Ole Miss year. I'll say this could be the biggest challenge for this could be the biggest challenge for Lane Kiffin as a coach is this season. So I'll say Arkansas starts 3-0.
Uh, this is a huge game because the next week they got to go to Memphis after that, which that's not going to be an easy game either. Um, but the problem is Ole Miss has a good they had a good transfer portal recruiting transfer portal class, quote unquote. Um, and Ole Miss last year demolished Arkansas, absolutely demolished
Yeah,
Arkansas.
but they don't have their court. They don't have Jackson Dart
Well,
anymore.
I think Arkansas loses this game. I think it'd be a close game, but I think it's going to be the same old song and dance that we've seen the last several years. I just don't have confidence with them winning this game. I got Ole Miss beating Arkansas. I got them at 2-1.
Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I need to look at this before I said it before I open my mouth. Yeah, you are right. Ole Miss was ranked 4th. They had 30 commits. Only 20 of them were considered 3 stars though. So I would that would definitely help. Arkansas had also had 31 commits, but most of theirs were I'm calling the upset. Arkansas at Memphis. This right here is probably going to hey, this is going to be tough because after Memphis, they have Notre Dame, who they host. They go to Tennessee, host Texas A&M. Now, I will say this much: Notre Dame is supposed to be pretty good this year. Tennessee is a head scratcher because Tennessee, we don't know what we're going to get with Tennessee this year. That's the big thing. We have no idea what we're going to get with Tennessee this year. Because Tennessee, they also did not fare well at all in the transfer portal. I don't think they're returning. I'm trying to look at their returning starters as well. Let me look at their returning starters because I know they returned some, but I don't think it was a whole lot either. They're returning 10 starters, and most of theirs were defensively. Their biggest issue last year was offense. That was their big thing was that was their big issue was offense last year because it was never consistent. I'm going to say we're going to go to Memphis and lose. Memphis is supposed to be really good this year, Brad. Memphis might be that trap game for Arkansas, especially at this point in the time of the year, especially since we don't really know how much we're going to get from Arkansas. I say Arkansas loses that game. I've got Arkansas 3-1 so far.
This is a huge game for Memphis because especially if they have playoff aspirations and if they want to even possibly do what Boise did to actually get a bye, quote unquote. Although it's probably going to be harder this year, or at least host a home game in the playoffs. Um, I think Arkansas. Ooh, I, I say they squeak out a win.
Okay.
I think they squeak out. I don't think they're gonna. It's gonna be a very close game. It's not gonna be an easy game, but like you say, I would not be surprised if they lost the game at all and actually be 2-2. But I say, you know what? No, I'll take it back. Give me Memphis. I think Memphis beats Arkansas. I got them at 2-2.
Let me see here. And oops, I clicked the wrong conference. Let's see. Just in the transfer portal, Brad. Oh my gosh. Memphis had 40 commits just in the portal. That was a transfer rate, 40. And they were all 3 stars. Every single one. I think they had 1 2-star. So yeah, I mean it was yeah. But either way though, Memphis is still they got a pretty good production starting coming back as well.
And one more thing is, some people is questioning why Arkansas is going to Memphis to play this game. It's all about recruiting. That's why they're playing this game in Memphis.
It's exactly. It is all about recruiting. All right, Notre Dame is the very next week. Of course, Notre Dame, they also have playoff aspirations for this next coming year. Um, I don't think they did very well in the transfer portal, but I also don't think they had to. Um,
No, they didn't have to. They have a lot of returning starters back. Um, I I think yeah, they should be just as good as last year. Um, I do think this game will be close. I think because Arkansas seems like they come to play for big games, and this is a huge game for Arkansas. I don't think Arkansas is going to get blown out, but I don't think they're beat Notre Dame.
Notre Dame's returning 11 starters this year. Most of them are defensive starters.
And their defense was great last year.
Defense was great last year. I say this is also a loss. So we both have Arkansas going into the bye week at 3-2. Going to Tennessee, this is the
I have a
one that
2-3, 2-3.
you had them going 2-3. Who'd you have them lose to besides Ole Miss and Notre Dame?
Ole Miss and Memphis. I'm losing to Memphis. Okay. I
I
changed my
thought you
mind.
said I thought you said they were going to squeak out against
No,
Memphis.
I've got no. I changed my mind. They're going to lose to
Okay,
Memphis.
okay.
2-3.
All right, so you got them at 2-3. All right, so going into the bye, coming off the bye week, they go to Tennessee. Um, Tennessee is also, like I said, their biggest issues was offense last year. They did not fare well at all on most of the time because they just weren't very consistent. Uh, Transfer portal ranking, they were very low in the transfer portal ranking. Gosh, they were lower than Vanderbilt. That's terrible. Let me look at this here, Brad. Oh gosh, let me look at this. I got to see how the transfer portal. Because I mean, I think they also had also a lot of their recruiting as well. They had 7 commits though in the transfer portal. I mean, so did Florida, but they're also returning. They
That's
also
quite a
had a lot.
bit.
Their class, whatever the case
Yeah.
may be, they're probably focused a little bit more on recruiting than anything like that. What do you think, Brad? You think we go Tennessee and beat them 2 in a row?
No.
So you've got Arkansas 2-4. I've got 3-3 right now. I have us definitely losing to Texas A&M. I think Texas A&M is going to be very good this year.
I got us beat Texas A&M. That's the
You're
upset I'm picking.
that's interesting. I
That's
would
a
not have.
The reason why is it's just like it seems like to me it's like the Tennessee game of last year. Remember, Tennessee came in number 3 ranked in the country. We were very down. It didn't seem like we had really any life left per se, and we ended up playing our best game. And like I say, we seem like we play the when it's a big game at home, we seem like we play really well. So I got us beating Texas A&M. I think
Okay.
we stick by them.
All right. So you have us beating Texas A&M. So now let's see here. That's what, 7 games? One,
We
two,
both
three,
got them
four, 5,
3-4.
6, 7. We both have them 3-4. What about Auburn?
I got us beating Auburn.
I have us beating Auburn. So we both
Although that's another toss-up game because
trap. That's a trap game. That's a
every
trap
time
game.
Auburn comes to Arkansas, it seems like they blow us out of the water. I mean,
That's a trap game. So 4-4. Mississippi State, we should beat Mississippi State, even though
I got
I think Mississippi State's going to be fairly improved from last year, but I don't think they're going to be much more improved. All
right.
right, so we're at 5-4. 3 games left at LSU, at Texas, at home against Mizzou. I have us losing all 3. I'm just being honest. I have us losing all 3.
I think we beat Mizzou finally and go 6-6.
So I've got 5-7. You've got 6-6.
Now the question becomes, I think 5-7, Sam Pittman's definitely gone.
I think he's gone 6-6.
I think he's gone 6-6 too. I agree.
So you look at the schedule. Let's be real quick before we go. Let's dive into this schedule. It's a hard schedule.
It's
Not
a
the
hard
hardest
schedule.
it's not the hardest we've had, but it's a hard schedule. All right. So right now, I have us going 1-4 in away games, 4-3 at home, and of course we had that one neutral site game that I have us barely squeaking out.
I think I got us going 5-2 at home, and
0-5 on the road.
0-5 on the road. Yeah, or something like that.
Yep, I
Yeah,
think you did. Yeah, because I think you did because you had us losing. Yeah, because you had us losing at Ole Miss. I had us
yeah,
beating Ole Miss, and then I
yeah.
have us dropping off after that. Now I will say this much: we lose to Ole Miss, we're going 4-8. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen.
And
Gonna
one
happen.
guy got us going 3-9.
So I mean, but like I said, looking at this schedule, it's not the hardest that we've had. We're gonna have a breakout year. We could have a breakout year with the schedule.
We could
If we're
possibly.
if we're gonna have a breakout year, it needs to be now.
Well, yep.
Here's the problem, Brad. We go to Ole Miss, we go to Tennessee, we go to LSU, we go to Texas. Those are our 4 conference road games. That's tough for
Yep.
for anybody, for any of them. That's tough.
So I have us going 6-2 at home. That's what it is. Okay, so 6-6. So 0-4 on the road. I think really, this is a pretty decent schedule for it because of how the teams are. Because Ole Miss is not returning a lot. Tennessee lost their quarterback, which is a game that we could win. Of course, Auburn's not. There's a lot of turmoil right now at Auburn. Mississippi State, although like you said, they're probably going to be improved, but they're not going to. They're still predicted to be ranked last in the SEC, according to the coaches' rankings this year. And of course, Missouri. Missouri loses a lot too with their quarterback, and that's. But again, that's the game that we seem like we lose no matter what.
Yeah. Well, and you had us beating Texas A&M, which is fine. But
Yeah,
Texas A&M, of all the teams we play,
yeah, I
of
know.
all the teams we play this year, Texas A&M returns the most starters.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There should not be a reason why we beat Texas A&M, but like I say, it seems like when we get a big game at home against a really good team with Sam Pittman, no, we play our best game. And I mean, and if you look at Tennessee, Tennessee, we weren't expected to beat Tennessee. We were expected to win that game, and we ended up winning, dominate on defense, and winning. And I was shocked. And without that game, we go 6 and we don't even make it to a bowl, and maybe Sam Pittman's already out the door already.
We'll see.
I think the thing about Arkansas is they got to. There's a lot of things at Arkansas right now that's just troubles me. One is not embracing the collective, and now all of a sudden we got the collective that's here to stay. There's a commission that says the collective is here to stay. I mean, Sam Pittman kept on saying that the reason why we haven't been able to compete in the last several years is because of finances, and we're catching up with the people. But again, the collective's not going away, and we've been behind the collective. And of course there is revenue sharing, but you still got a collective, and we got to deal that. I just think, Ricky, to be honest with you, we got to catch up with the time. I mean, You know, only thing that Sam Pittman and Hunter Yurachek has to do is look across campus and see what Calipari wanted. He got a good collective, and he's going to have revenue sharing. That's why Arkansas is going to compete in basketball. That's why right now our football team is behind, is because we refused to have a great collective. And I think it's because of us not wanting to get with the times that this is going to eventually, will be Sam Pittman's last season.
All right. That's enough football talk for now. That's enough talking sports for now. Let's get to DAs of the week, and then we will hit the road for the first episode of this new
Well,
season.
one more thing we were going to talk about real quick. Rick Lashley. What do you think about Paul Feinbaum comments on that?
Let's get to that next week.
Okay.
Because I think there's a lot to really unplug with Rhett Lashley, because I think he's a DA himself for even mentioning that the ACC has any chance, top heavy, bottom heavy, whatever the case may be. They have no chance. Let's just put it that way. They have no chance.
Yeah, I think it's a DA for that too, but at the same time, Paul Feinbaum.
Everybody knows.
Yeah.
Everybody knows. If Sam Pittman's fired, everybody knows he's in line for to be the next head coach, and it's not him.
Now, as a matter of fact, if I was Rhett Lashley, I would actually be putting my sights on the Auburn job, not the Arkansas job.
Yeah, because Hugh Freeze might be gone if he doesn't do anything this year.
Yeah.
And so, all right. So let me look here. All right, let's get to DAs of the week. Go ahead, Brad. Who is your first DA of the week?
So the obvious one, since we've been gone for a while, so the obvious one is the couple that got caught cheating at the co-play.
That was one of mine, Brad. Stop cheating. Stop looking on my list.
That's first. So I don't know what makes you a bigger DA, actually being at a Coldplay concert or actually get caught cheating at a Coldplay concert. But apparently both of them has resigned from their positions because of this kiss cam. And ever since then, they have been a talking meme. They've been made fun around different ballparks and
Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins last night.
Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins. I mean, let's just be honest. This has got to be the dumbest thing you could do. This is going to be on every HR training video from here on out on what not to do. So my first day of the week goes to this HR CEO guy for getting caught. Yeah.
That's the thing. They got caught at a Coldplay concert. So if you're gonna cheat, you go to a Coldplay concert. Just make sure they're not doing the kiss cam or anything like that. So I'm just saying that's actually. Anyways, oh gosh, yeah. If you're gonna cheat, Coldplay and Justin Bieber, those are guaranteed that you won't get caught, except for this one time. And I wonder if they'll ever do a kiss cam again. Oh my gosh, that's great. All right, so my first DA of the week goes to this man, Oliver Springs, Tennessee. Apparently, he put a referee in a headlock at a basketball game. He was sentenced to 11 months and 29 days in jail, but he was granted what's called judicial division, meaning he doesn't have to serve jail time. But if he gets a felony during that time period, he would have to serve the entire sentence plus other charges. This is why you don't put your hands on a referee at a basketball game, at a football game, baseball. It doesn't matter. This is why people. This is light. That's a light sentence. That's a very light sentence. He could have gotten longer than that, and he could have actually served the jail time. So yeah.
My second day of the week goes to the videographer of the Cleveland Browns, who is videoing their unveiling of their helmet and falls off into the river. Which, by the way, this unveiling was also sponsored by Dude Wipes, which is
awesome. Everybody knows what Dude Wipes are, Brad.
But my point is, you're the Browns.
That is true.
So again, I don't know what's worse: you being sponsored by Dude Wipes or the videographer being sent into the river because he doesn't know what the ledge is. So my second DA of the week goes to the whole Cleveland organization. That whole sequence right there is the epitome of the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah. So My next one is kind of a I don't want to necessarily call them DAs or anything like that, but because it's a very very cool thing. But there are two storm chasers. They've been together for years, and the man proposed to his girlfriend in front of a tornado, and you can see the
Yeah.
tornado in the background. Like that's cool and all, but it's like you're storm chasers. You're supposed to tell people to get to safety. You're not in safety right now. I know that that tornado is a couple of miles away. But what if that tornado? Could you imagine if they're proposing that tornado all of a sudden shifts and blows them away? And she, could you imagine that? And she's like, "Yes, I will." I mean, I'm just saying. Come on, people. Think. All right. So if you're going to tell us to stay inside, get your butt inside and propose or something like that. That's why you're a DA.
My next DA goes to the guy or girl, whoever has thrown the sex objects into the WNBA
Oh
court.
my gosh.
And for the camera is zooming in on the object that is on the court in one of these videos, the camera person zooms right in and goes, oh, I can't do that. Let's
Yep.
zoom out. Um, I guess without Caitlin Clark being in, it has to be boring. So this is the best excitement they have right now. So for that, I don't know if that makes him a DA or makes it bring attention, but in other words, yeah. So
Well,
uh,
I know one of them got end up getting arrested. I do know that.
yes, yes, they did get arrested. So you're a DA for throwing things. So my second DA of the week goes to the idiot that keeps throwing stuff, sex objects onto the WNBA court.
Yeah. Anyways, I swear. All right. So, no, I'm not going there. Definitely not going there. All right. So, my next DA of the week. First of all, congratulations to the Arena Football team, the Hot Springs Wise Guys. They will play in the Arena Football Championship game next weekend in Minnesota. I actually had the opportunity to go to a game last week while you were in Florida. I had an opportunity to go to a Hot Springs Wise Guys football game. It was very interesting. Never seen I've seen arena football on TV, but it's very interesting because it's like you have it's a 7-on-7. It's a very small field. I think it's 50. It's a 50-yard field. You know, end zone to end zone. I think is 70, but the actual field itself, you know what I mean? It's 50 yards.
Right.
Anyways, I believe I saw Mr. Duncan, one of your guys.
Yeah.
I think he was one of the ones doing the instant replay, which is what I bring my week to when it comes to arena football. Why are you doing instant replays in arena football? Why? Are you serious? These guys don't get paid enough to do instant replay. I guarantee you, Brad, these players do not get paid very much at all to do arena football. I know years ago when the Twisters were here, there was an old saying that the winners got like $200, the losers got $100, whatever the case may be. These guys aren't getting paid that well. You don't have to do. Why are we doing replays in arena football?
Hmm. I have no idea.
So
Uh,
arena football league, DA of the week.
my next DA goes to the guy that refused to pay at the Waffle House, and he gets chased down, and eventually, the Arkansas State Police crashes his truck into a tree because he refuses to stop, as he refuses to pay his bill at Waffle House. Um, if you're
Oh
too
my
poor,
gosh.
if you're too poor to eat at Waffle House, it might as well be a good idea not to go out to eat. Especially, it's especially a good idea not to run from the Arkansas State Police. Honorable mention goes to a guy named Charlie. As the officer stops this couple, apparently this officer knows this couple. Charlie decides that he goes out the back door or goes out the back seat because he's afraid that they're going to arrest him. Well, the issue is that he actually has no active warrants. The state trooper said, "Hey, wait a minute, you don't have no warrants," but he runs away anyway. Which that means yet is evading police. Which now that means you do have a warrant, and now you're a DA. You're going to jail. So for that goes to dumb criminals in Arkansas. My next DAs of the week.
Swear to myself. How in the world? Oh my gosh. All right. So my final one, my final day of the week goes to ESPN and anyone that is involved in Pillow Fighting Championship. What in the Sam Hill are we doing now? Can you create a sport out of anything? I mean, come on. What's next? weaving. Hey, let's sew for a competition. Let's do a sewing competition. We're gonna film it while people are sewing and knitting, whatever the case may be. Like, have we stooped that much stupid society that we're gonna film and we're gonna participate in a pillow fight championship? I don't know who the dumber people are. The people who watch or the people who participate. I don't know which ones are dumber. Have we really stooped to that level of society that we had to create a competition of pillow fighting?
Well, there was cornhole on today, and there was also
Cornhole's fine. Cornhole is fun. Cornhole's a good sport to actually play. It actually takes a little bit of skill. Pillow
well,
fighting
what
that takes skill.
well, that's what we should be talking next on Talking Sports and Neutral Force is cornhole. Also, Ultimate Frisbee was on ESPN
Hey,
too.
and let's not forget your record at Williams of pillow fighting was not a very good one, sir.
Hey, no, mine was great because he never caught me.
We're
Uh,
not we're not saying this on the we're not telling the story on air. We
no,
can't
we're
tell the
not.
story on air. We can't tell the story on air because he will kill me if we tell the story on air. I promise you he will. He will kill me. Larry Stepter, I love you, my man. I'm not going to go there. Anyways, but
Uh,
but I'm just saying in general, have we stooped to that stupidity level? And like I get the hot dog competition, I get eating competitions and everything like that. But a pillow fight? Really? A pillow fight?
I'm gonna stop at. I have a couple more, but I'm gonna stop at probably two because I could add honorable mentions like your Dallas Cowboys throwing their star players under the bus.
We're
I mean,
not talking
I
about Dallas.
think
Today it's Arkansas football, not Dallas Cowboys.
we are wondering if Ricky will give up his fandom this year. That's
Probably
another thing.
so.
Uh,
Go Commanders.
but that's I
Commanders and
mean
Commodores, baby. Commanders and Commodores.
because after all, your owner throwing your star players under the bus during press conferences, that's a way to get a deal done. Anyway, so I do have a couple. One's very funny, one's very serious. My first one that I want to talk about is the Chuck E. Cheese mascot who got arrested for credit card fraud. Not in Tallahassee, Florida. Yes, he is actually in a Chuck E. Cheese costume as he's getting arrested
That is
on video.
hilarious.
Uh,
That's awesome. That's awesome.
you
He's
know,
my hero.
you know, the thing about it is about Chuck E. Cheese. It's a fun place to be a kid, but apparently it wasn't a fun place if you're the fraud victim. But this mascot here, yeah, that's gonna be he's gonna definitely be laughed at once he was processed. I can only imagine the jokes that he got from the other inmates and residents that was in the facility. So that's my next to last DA of the week. And finally, the last one is this, Ricky, is this is a very serious one. While we've been away, we've had some tragic events. The flooding in the hill country in
Mhm.
Texas. We've had, of course, the death of Hogan. And during this time, people have brought politics into why things were happening. Or like, for example, oh, I didn't know Hulk Hogan died. Good, another MAGA member dead. Or
Yeah.
there was a pediatrician in Houston that ended up getting fired because, oh, more MAGA people have died. Talking about the kids in the flood. You're DAs. You're despicable. You're actually scum of the earth when you bring
Mhm.
politics into situations like that. And I'm going to tell you right now, Ricky, when people bring, me and you, we have a lot of fun doing this. We disagree, we laughed, we cut up, and that sort of thing. And and we know people that we disagree with politically and that sort of thing. But if something was the bad to happen to that person we're thinking of, we're not going to play politics. Say, well, thank God that whoever's dead, that sort of thing.
Right.
I mean, people needs to learn human decency, and for those who are not learning human decency, especially when tragedy hits, especially when it involves children, I think it's despicable and I think it's disgusting. And if you're one of those that play politics during that time, you're a DA and you're what's wrong
Yeah.
with this country. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, and it is sad the way that things are, the way that they are, because our country has been divided so much by politics over the last. I mean, we're going on a decade or so now. That how
Really
that's
are.
how that's how bad it's been. I mean, we spent 4 years with Trump. It was nothing but political hate. 4 years with Joe Biden, same situation, nothing but political hate. And now, we're in the, we're not even we're about a little bit over halfway into Trump's second term, and it's still the same thing. I mean, so when we're talking about American history, later on, uh, you know, Lord willing, we have grandchildren, great grandchildren, or great grandchildren, whatever. If the Lord decides to tarry that long, they're going to be hearing about this part of history.
Yeah.
And it needs to be an important part that's taught to them, because the fact is that this country is so divided right now, and it is sad. I mean, it is very, very sad, and I hate that we've come to this point. We're at the point now. Um, there's no value for human life.
No.
There's just not. So
No,
it
it's
just,
not.
like I said, they are just, like I said. It is definitely disgusting.
Yeah, and that's why I love our show. We are here to bring laughter and to share about why on how not to do a podcast.
Exactly.
And always remember if as long as you're alive, as long as the what is my saying? I even forgot about my saying.
How
Good
did
Lord.
you forget about your saying? As long as the human race
Races
exists.
exist, there will always be DAs.
Oh my gosh. See, this is what happens when you go over summer break. You
I know
forget
it.
everything.
As long as the human race exists, there'll always be DAs.
Well, anyway, how long have we been doing this now? 4 years?
Nearly 4 years, yes, sir.
I've been doing this nearly 4 years. Yeah, we're going to have a 4-year celebration episode, which was our first episode was what, October of 21?
October 21, yes.
That's what I thought. We're getting close. Yeah, we're about to hit next year. Be 5 years, Lord willing. Knock on wood, Lord willing. Next year we'll be celebrating a milestone.
5 years, and get this, 20 years since we met at Williams Baptist. How about that?
Oh boy, don't remind me, man. We're so old now. It's not even. My gosh, we're old. I was looking over Facebook the other day. I'm like, I remember you. You're definitely don't look the same as you did in college. Anyways, so
Oh, man.
we're just getting old. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on. But all right, I'm getting off here. I've got to be at school in the morning. Thank you for those. If those of you have listened to us all the way through here, as usual during the season, we will post this on Friday morning. It's going to change up the YouTube page just a tad bit, but make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you want to know when our episodes post. It is every Friday. Sometimes we don't get to do an episode on a weekly basis, but we will try to, at least during football season at least. Um, and so, Brad, do you have anything else?
No, not at all. I know that from here on out, pretty much every week until February, there is football on. I mean, I
Yep.
know that people don't want to watch the NFL preseason, but if you are into that, at least you got some football on right now. But the season is around the corner. The NFL season, of course, college football season is will begin this month. A lot of marquee games on during the first week of the season, and I'm going to be honest with you, Ricky. It's a very intriguing. It's going to be a very intriguing season. I think it's a wide open season this year. There's a lot of question marks with a lot of the bigger teams. I mean, Ohio State's has a new quarterback. Of course, Arch Manning steps in as the new quarterback at Texas. Uh, like you mentioned, Ole Miss has a new quarterback. Georgia's going to have a new quarterback.
Yeah.
Alabama's going to have a new quarterback. So it's a lot of intrigue for especially the top. And Oregon's going to have a new quarterback too. So again, a lot of intrigue with the top teams this year, and it's going to be a very interesting college football season.
Yes, it is. And I think next week we're going to go through the SEC conference. We're going to predict. Hang on, no, let me see here. Put this down somewhere. No, next week we're going to go through each of the conferences, the power conferences, and the smaller conference, the non-power conferences, like Sun Belt and all them. And we're going to give our conference champions for each conference that we're going to predict the week after. We will nitpick the SEC, and we will go straight down the list who we think is going to go from top to bottom. We will we will predict the SEC.
Well, and I'm also excited that we're going to go through the high school,
Oh yes,
the high school conferences this year. But like I say, if you like smaller football, especially the 2A, um, keep an eye on the 2A. I mean, I think that's
yeah,
going to be one of the most exciting conferences that we have within the state of Arkansas this year. And of course, obviously Parkview is going to be good again in the 5A. The 3A is going to have your usual suspects up at the top. 4A is the same way, 6 and 7A. But the 2A, that's the conference I'm going to say right now to pay attention to because I'm going to tell you that is wide open.
it's going to be a good year for football. I can't wait for the officiating season to start. And then,
Hmm.
like I said, we will. Yeah, we're just gonna have a good season. Thank you to those who listened. We'll see you next time.
Bye bye.